Hello and welcome to this Wheel and Anchor webinar for our Colombian Sojourn program. I'm so excited to take you through what I believe is one of the most surprising, vibrant, and deeply layered countries in all of Latin America. Visiting Colombia is a journey through contrasts, from the Andean peaks surrounding Bogotá to the lush coffee hills of Quindío and the colonial charm of Cartagena on the Caribbean Sea. Many of us have a stigma about Colombia. Let's face it, the country went through decades of economic and security challenges, highlighted by the notorious drug trade. Over the last decade, things there changed dramatically, and I've seen it with my own eyes. In fact, I couldn't believe my eyes when I first visited Bogota some 8 years ago. I thought to myself, I could live here. Over the course of 15 days, we'll be staying in four distinct regions: Bogota, the capital, Salento in the coffee growing region, Medellín, and finally Cartagena. Rather than rushing from one city to the next, we'll take our time, allowing each place to unfold at its own pace, as is the goal of all of our Sojourn programs. Now, for those of you who regularly watch our webinars, you're welcome to skip ahead to the map and detailed day by day itinerary. If you look just below this video in the description, you'll find the time markers for easy navigations to those sections of this webinar. But if you're new to us, I encourage you to watch the next couple of slides as I explain a little bit about what we're all about here at Wheel and Anchor. Now, before I get started talking about Colombia, I want you to know that this is not just another travel company presentation. You're stepping into a genuine community of passionate Canadian explorers. At Wheel and Anchor, that's exactly what we've built together. What truly unites us is our shared curiosity about the world and our desire for experiences that go beyond those typical tourist pamphlets. Now, let me be clear. Those famous landmarks, they're famous for good reason. We absolutely include those must see highlights on all of our journeys. But what our community truly thrives in is those magical moments between the landmarks, discovering the hidden cafe in Sicily or that stunning viewpoint in Kyoto that most visitors would never find. And because we believe in the joy of personal discovery, we intentionally build in that precious free time for you to explore exactly what calls to you. What I've discovered in my 34 years of organizing travel is that what transforms a good trip into an unforgettable experience is the people you share it with. There's something special about traveling with fellow Canadians who get your references, share your perspectives, and quickly become friends rather than just travel companions. If that resonates with you, if you value those evening conversations over a glass of local wine, those shared moments of wonder, and the freedom to both connect and explore independently, then you found your travel home with us here at Wheel and Anchor. As I was just saying, we're not just about stamps in passports, we're about stamps on the heart. Now, I know that might sound a bit corny, but let me explain how our twin goals of being well traveled and well connected work together like a perfectly balanced itinerary. When we say well traveled, we mean cultivating what I call explorer's eyes, that ability to find wonder whether you're standing in front of Machu Picchu or sipping coffee in a Bogota mercado. It's about letting the local rhythm or the local vibe challenge your assumptions. Talking about Colombian as example, it's about letting Medellin's transformation from turbulent past to innovative present reshape how you view the whole idea of resilience. Now, I know what you're thinking, but don't we want all those Instagram moments? Well, absolutely, you'll get those too. But the real magic happens when a simple conversation with a coffee grower in Salento changes how you appreciate your morning brew back home. Which brings us to the idea of well connected. On one of our recent trips, the host told me that a group had discovered that they had three retired teachers, two amateur photographers, and someone who'd worked with the Canadian First Nations communities. By the trip's end, they'd created a shared photo album and planned a reunion back in Canada. Here's what most travel companies miss. Connection isn't just who you travel with, it's who you become through travel. Our goal is not just to guide you around, but to give you the opportunity to go into a family kitchen or uncover the craft of pottery making as it's been done for generations. To debate sports rivalries with locals who'll remind you of their fascination with your hockey loving neighbors. This dual focus creates what our members call the wheel and anchor effect, returning home not just with souvenirs, but with new lenses to see your own community and new friends to see it through. Now, I'm going to say a couple more things before we delve into the details about this trip to Colombia, because I want to tell you a little bit about who are the people behind Wheel and Anchor. First of all, my name is Gordon Dreger. I'm the founder of Wheel and Anchor, and I've been working in and around the travel industry for well over 30 years. I've organized trips for Canadians to just about all parts of the globe. But I couldn't pull off all these promises that I've just talked about without an incredible team of people, all of whom are as dedicated to ensuring that we deliver some of the best experiences for our members as I am. The person who's most important for you, though, is our lead trip specialist, Paula Zarnik. You can see a picture of her here, and she is the person when you drop us a note or give us a call who will most likely be frontline to make sure that you get your questions answered and to assist you in joining us if you decide to come with us on this trip or any of our trips. So let's now dive into what makes our trip to Colombia so special. Our plan today is pretty straightforward. I'm going to be your virtual guide as I take you on a little journey around Colombia and share what you can expect from this incredible Sojourn style trip. We'll start with a geographical overview with the map, and then I'll walk you through the highlights of each day of this adventure. Now, if you're not sure what a Sojourn style trip is, basically it's a trip where we spend longer at each stop than what you'd find in most ordinary sightseeing tours. We spend an average of 3 to 5 nights, which allows time for you to settle in a bit and soak up the feeling of actually being there. If you'd like to know more about our Sojourn style trips, take a look at our category definitions on our website. So here we go with the map. This will be a 15-day journey through the heart of Colombia. And we're going to start off high in the Andes Mountains in Bogotá, the capital. It's a cool, cosmopolitan town nestled at over 2,600 meters above sea level. Bogotá is a city of layers. Colonial churches tucked between modern high rises, colorful street art telling stories of resistance and hope, and markets overflowing with fruits, many of which you've probably never heard of before. We'll base ourselves in the lively neighborhood of Chapinero, perfectly positioned for exploring both the cultural heart of the city and its vibrant everyday life. From there, we fly into Colombia's lush coffee country, a landscape of rolling green hills, misty mornings, and fincas tucked between tall wax palms. Our home base will be in Quindío, one of the most picturesque provinces in this UNESCO listed coffee culture landscape. Next, we travel northwest to the city of Medellín, once synonymous with conflict and now one of the most innovative and inspiring urban turnarounds in the world. Medellín is a city that surprises at every turn. And finally, we head up to the Caribbean coast where the air gets warmer, the colors get bolder, and the pace of life slows down. In Cartagena, we'll wander the walled city's cobbled streets, explore majestic fortresses, and soak up the magic of this coastal gem where history and modern life dance together in rhythm. So let's now dive into the day by day details of this 2 week long program of our Colombian sojourn. We begin, of course, in the capital city of Bogota. Relatively easy place to get to. You can fly nonstop from both Toronto and Montreal. And of course, there are a host of connection possibilities from other cities across Canada. Now, interestingly, Bogota is actually one of the highest capital cities in the world. It's nestled in a vast Andean plateau, and it's where old meets new in the most unexpected of ways. You'll see colonial churches next to sleek skyscrapers, bustling market stalls just around the corner from boutique cafes, and every wall seems to tell a story through vibrant street art. After you land, you'll be met by our private driver and transferred to our hotel located in the neighborhood of Chapinero, which is one of the most dynamic and eclectic corners of the city. This area is a blend of bohemian charm and modern energy, known for its independent galleries, its leafy side streets, and a fantastic food scene that ranges from local street eats to high end dining. We'll have the whole day at leisure to settle in and take it all in at your own pace. Maybe stretch your legs and wander through the neighborhood, grab a coffee from a local roaster, or simply relax and take in the altitude and atmosphere. Dinner tonight will be on your own. Bogota certainly won't disappoint, whether you're in the mood for traditional arepas, sizzling ayaco soup, or some international fare with a Colombian twist. You'll certainly find something delicious within a few steps of the hotel. On our first full day in Bogota, we're going to ease into our Colombian adventure with a beloved local tradition, the Sunday market in Usoquén. It's not a far drive from Chapinero, but this charming colonial district transforms every Sunday into a lively open air fair filled with artisan stalls, handmade jewelry, colorful crafts, and street performers tucked in between cobble streets and historic architecture. Usaquén was once its own village before being absorbed into the expanding city of Bogota, and that small town charm still lingers. It's a perfect place to browse for local treasures, strike up a chat with a vendor, or simply take in the rhythm of the day. We then shift gears a bit and dive into something Colombia is world famous for: coffee, of course. This afternoon, we'll embark on the theme of coffee that will punctuate our overall trip. On this day, we'll have a three-stop tasting journey through Bogota's vibrant coffee scene. Each cafe offers its own unique lens, some steeped in tradition, others pushing the boundaries with innovative brewing methods. Along the way, you'll discover what makes Colombian coffee so exceptional, from the altitude of the growing regions to the delicate art of roasting and blending. And yes, you'll definitely taste the difference. This experience isn't just about sipping coffee, it's about learning the culture behind the cup, and it's a good prep for our visit to the coffee region in a few days' time. We'll enjoy some downtime and then regroup in the evening for our official welcome dinner, which is a great, relaxed opportunity to get to know your fellow travelers, share some early impressions, and raise a glass to the adventures still to come. Today's excursion will allow us to see Bogota from above, literally, with a visit to one of the city's most iconic landmarks, Monserrate Hill. Rising to an altitude of over 3,100 meters above sea level, Monserrate has watched over Bogota for centuries. We'll ride up the cable car to the summit where you'll be greeted by some sweeping panoramic views of the entire city below, framed by mountain ridges and an endless sky. It's a breathtaking moment, especially on a clear day when you can see the full scale of this sprawling Andean capital. At the top, we'll find a 17th century monastery, which was originally built as a pilgrimage site. Legend has it that the fallen Lord of Monserrate, a sculpture housed inside the chapel, became so revered that it transformed the site into one of Colombia's most sacred spots. There's a bit of uphill walking involved as we explore the site, but we'll take it all at a comfortable pace with plenty of time to stop, look out, and simply take it all in. From the heights above, we'll return to the city and then visit Museo del Oro, or the Gold Museum, which is considered to be one of the finest museums in all of South America. Inside, we'll discover the world's largest collection of pre Hispanic gold artifacts, including the famous Musica Raft, which is linked to the legend of El Dorado. This museum isn't just about glittering objects, it's about understanding the spiritual and symbolic role gold played in ancient societies. You'll come away with a whole new appreciation for the mythology, artistry, and sophistication of Colombia's indigenous cultures. Afterwards, we'll have a relaxed lunch at a local restaurant not far from the hotel, and then the whole afternoon, you might want to explore more of the Chapinero district or find a sunny spot to just relax and reflect on everything you've seen. For those looking to elevate their evening, we're going to offer an exceptional optional dinner at one of the top restaurants in Bogota. This is a chance, particularly if you're a foodie, to indulge in the city's dynamic cultural scene. Today's excursion is going to take us out to uncover the soul of Bogota, and we're going to take a deep dive into its historic center, La Candelaria. This is the city's cultural and colonial heart, where centuries old churches sit beside hip street art and history breathes from every corner. Since the neighborhood is set on a hillside, we're going to take the scenic route downhill, which will give us the time to explore slowly and comfortably. Our first stop is La Concordia Market, which is a modern community space rooted in Colombia's rich culinary traditions. Here, we'll start with a tasting of over 10 exotic fruits, and you'll pardon my Spanish here, like lulo, which is a citrusy green fruit, or uchuva, which is also known as golden berries. There's granadilla, tomate de arbol. Many of these are native to the Andes region and have been enjoyed here for generations. We'll also sample chicha, which is a mildly fermented corn drink that dates back to the pre-Columbian times. It's sweet, tangy, and very Colombian. We'll continue downhill to Plaza del Chorro de Quevedo, which is a charming little square said to be the exact spot where Bogota was founded back in 1538. Today, it's a bohemian hub filled with students, street musicians, and colorful facades. It's a perfect snapshot of the city's youthful spirit atop its colonial roots. We'll have lunch at a local restaurant, enjoying some classic Colombian flavors, and then afterward, we'll stroll over to the Botero Museum, home to the iconic works of Fernando Botero, Colombia's most beloved artist, and frankly, one of mine too. His signature style, which are voluminous figures and bold proportions, is both whimsical and deeply thoughtful. It offers a commentary on politics, society, and beauty in a way that only Botero can. And we'll wrap up our tour at the Plaza Bolivar, which is Bogota's grand main square. It's surrounded by some of the city's most important buildings, the cathedral, the Palace of Justice, and the national capital. This plaza has been the backdrop for protests, celebrations, and literally history in the making. And before heading back, one more stop. We'll pop in at Pasaje Rivas, which is a shopping arcade packed with local crafts, handmade souvenirs, and all kinds of quirky treasures. It's the perfect place to find something meaningful to bring home. We then say goodbye to the buzz of Bogota and take to the skies, heading for one of the most scenic, serene, and culturally rich corners of Colombia, the coffee region. We'll fly into one of the local airports that serves this rural heartland and then take a scenic 1 hour drive through rolling green hills to reach our next home, the breathtaking Biohabitat Hotel, which is our intended boutique accommodation tucked away in the lush countryside of the Quindío province. This region is part of Colombia's coffee cultural landscape, which is in of itself a UNESCO World Heritage Site, celebrated not only for its high quality coffee, but also for its traditional architecture, deep agricultural heritage, and tight knit communities. The steep hillsides are blanketed in plantations of Arabica coffee, dotted with colorful farmhouses, bamboo groves, and towering wax palms, Colombia's national tree. Life here moves at a slower rhythm, and that's exactly the point. This is the perfect moment in our journey to unwind, breathe in the mountain air, and settle into the quiet charm of the countryside. The afternoon is yours to enjoy however you like, whether you choose to relax on your private terrace, go for a nature walk, or simply sip a cup of coffee while watching hummingbirds flit through the trees. This is your time to decompress. On this day, we're going to have to get up a bit earlier than we might like, but we're going to set off for one of Colombia's most scenic and iconic landscapes, the legendary Cocora Valley. Located in the heart of the Andean cloud forest, this valley is home to the tallest palm trees in the world, the wax palm, which is actually Colombia's national tree, as I just mentioned. These slender giants can grow up to 60 meters tall, rising out of the mist like something out of a dream. And when you see them for yourself, standing alone in a sea of green, silhouetted against the clouds, you'll understand why this place is considered a natural wonder. We'll visit a panoramic viewpoint where you have the time to take in the jaw dropping scenery. And for those who feel up to it, there's the option to climb a series of steps for even more expansive views over the valley. But if you prefer to stay at the base, you won't miss a thing. There's a shaded rest area with equally stunning vistas and plenty of time to soak in the surroundings at your own pace. From there, we'll take a short drive to the colorful little town of Salento, which is perched on a ridge overlooking the green valleys below. With its colonial balconies, vibrant doors, and mountain views, Salento is one of Colombia's most beloved small towns, and it's easy to see why. We'll then have lunch at a local restaurant. You'll have time to meander around on your own, maybe browsing through the artisan shops, grabbing a coffee in the plaza, or taking a stroll down the Calle Real, Salento's main street, which is filled with handicraft souvenirs and laid back charm. Today, we get ready to tantalize our taste buds and we'll roll up our sleeves and dive into two of Colombia's greatest passions, coffee and chocolate. We'll spend the day at a traditional finca. And a finca is a Spanish word for estate, often agricultural, but it could be a cottage or have some other recreational purpose. In this case, it's a rural Colombian farm nestled in the lush green hills of Quindío. These family run fincas have been the backbone of Colombia's coffee growing culture for generations, and today you'll step directly into that world. We'll begin by getting into character with a poncho, a wide brimmed hat, and basket in hand, just like the cafeteros, the coffee farmers who work the land. You'll walk the rows of coffee bushes, learning how to identify a perfectly ripe cherry, and even try your hand at picking. Though, fair warning, your host and your local guide will be watching to see who actually gets it right. From there, we'll trace the journey from bean to brew, learning about the processing, roasting, grinding, and of course, tasting. You'll discover how geography and altitude influence the flavor and how to brew a better cup of coffee at home, as well as what to look for when you're choosing beans. You might even learn that your favorite word premium from home isn't quite as premium as you might have thought. But the experience doesn't stop there. We'll also explore the cacao side of the finca, where you'll follow the life cycle of chocolate from bitter raw nibs to smooth bars and rich liqueurs. You'll see how cacao is fermented, ground, tempered, and then transformed into the treats we know and love, and you'll taste at each stage along the way. It's a full century journey through two of the world's most beloved flavors. After a very immersive morning, we'll return to the hotel for a relaxing afternoon at leisure. You might want to take a nap in the hammock or walk through the forest trails or just enjoy a quiet moment with a newly sharpened palate and a really good cup of coffee. This morning, we have to bid farewell to the peaceful hills of the coffee region and we'll make our way to one of Colombia's most remarkable urban stories, the city of Medellin. After breakfast at our hotel, we'll transfer over to the airport for a short flight to Antioquia's capital, which is nestled in the bowl shaped Obura Valley, where the Andes rise steeply on all sides. What was once known globally for its troubled past has now become a beacon of innovation, resilience, and hope. Medellin has undergone one of the most inspiring urban transformations in Latin America, perhaps the whole world. From being dubbed the most dangerous city on earth back in the 80s and 90s, it has evolved into a forward thinking, community driven metropolis. The city has pioneered the use of urban cable cars, outdoor escalators, and inclusive public spaces to connect its hillside communities, fostering access, equity, and pride. You'll begin to feel Medellin's unique spirit the moment you arrive. It's a mix of entrepreneurial energy, artistic expression, and lush natural beauty, all wrapped in a warm, welcoming atmosphere. We'll check in at our hotel, which is a nice boutique property located in the lively El Poblado district. With its leafy streets, open air cafes, independent boutiques, and relaxed energy, El Poblado is a perfect home base for getting to know this city. It's modern, safe, and endlessly walkable, a neighborhood where creativity flourishes and people linger over good coffee and conversation. In the evening, we'll gather at a local restaurant. You'll get your first real taste of Medellin's buzzing culinary scene, and it is amazing. It's got influences from the Andes, the Caribbean, and the nearby Pacific. It's not that nearby, but nearby enough. The flavors here are as bold and varied as the city itself. Today's excursion is not just about the highlights, it's a step into one of Medellin's most powerful and inspiring stories. It's a visit to Comuna 13, a neighborhood that has gone from being the epicenter of conflict to a global symbol of transformation and hope. This used to be considered the most dangerous area in the city. Comuna 13 has reclaimed its future through art, innovation, and community spirit. What was once marked by violence is now alive with colorful street murals, music, performance, and resilience, a living example of how creativity can be a catalyst for healing. As we walk through the neighborhood with our local guide, we'll hear the real stories from those who lived through the darkest years to those leading the renewal today. The walls speak too, covered in bold graffiti and intricate artwork that tell tales of injustice, memory, and rebirth. One of the most unique features of Comuna 13 is its system of outdoor escalators, which connect the steep hillside community to the rest of the city. These escalators aren't just convenient, they're revolutionary. Before they were installed, residents had to climb the equivalent of a 28-story building just to reach the city. But today, they serve as a symbol of access, equality, and dignity. Along the way, Along the way, we'll enjoy a few local snacks, perhaps a freshly fried empanada or a sweet arequipe-filled treat, and catch some of the neighborhood's spontaneous breakdance or hip-hop performances, especially popular with Medellin's youth. After this moving and immersive morning, we'll enjoy lunch at a local restaurant. We'll head back to the hotel, and you'll have the whole rest of the afternoon and evening to explore on your own. You might want to go out and explore some more of El Poblado's cafe and leafy parks, or unwind at a rooftop lounge, or just reflect on everything you've experienced. It's a perfect opportunity to explore and enjoy Medellin on your own terms. Today, you have the opportunity to enjoy the city entirely at your own pace. And this is one of the hallmarks of our Sojourn programs. After several days of exploration and storytelling, it's your chance to follow your curiosity. If you're drawn to nature, one of the most rewarding escapes lies just above the city, Parque Arvi, which is easily accessible via Medellin's iconic cable car system. It's an expansive ecological reserve which offers fresh mountain air, quiet forest trails, and the kind of serenity that feels a world away from urban life, even though it's just a few minutes from downtown. Art lovers might head to the Museum of Antioquia, which is located just beside the striking open air sculptures of Plaza Botero. The museum is home to an exceptional collection of modern and colonial art, including a whole wing dedicated to Medellin's most famous artistic son, Fernando Botero himself. His signature voluminous figures are on display both inside the galleries and right outside in the plaza. Or perhaps you might want to do something a little more relaxed. The El Poblado district, right outside our hotel, is perfect for wandering. It's a neighborhood of tree lined streets, independent boutiques, and an endless array of cafes and eateries. It's ideal for people watching, journaling with a good cup of coffee, or simply lingering over a long lunch. We'll leave lunch and dinner completely at leisure today so you can stumble upon a hidden gem or make plans for a roof-tail cocktail at sunset with your newfound friends. Today is about choosing your own rhythm. After all, one of the great joys of travel is letting a city unfold around you, and Medellin is the city that rewards those who take the time to truly explore it. This excursion will be one of the visual and emotional highlights of our whole journey. It's a day filled with color, legend, and panoramic beauty. Our adventure today is going to take us a full day, so we'll have to head out early in the morning, and our destination is Guatape, a storybook town tucked into the green hills just about 2 hours outside of Medellin. As we leave the city behind, the landscape begins to shift. Rolling farmland, mirror like lakes, and jagged mountain silhouettes welcome us to a region of astonishing natural charm. Guatape is known as Colombia's most colorful town, and it lives up to its name in every way. The cobblestone streets are lined with vibrant houses, each one adorned with hand painted zocalos, bas relief panels that decorate the lower walls of every building. These zocalos are more than just decoration, though. They're little windows into local life, portraying everything from farming traditions to folklore and childhood memories. Walking through Guatape feels like meandering inside a living, breathing painting. But just outside of town, we'll find the dramatic El Peñol Rock, which rises 200 meters into the sky. It's a giant granite monolith, and it's one of Colombia's most iconic natural landmarks. It's an unforgettable sight whether you decide to climb up it or not. And if you're feeling adventurous, you're welcome to take on the 742 steps that wind up the side of the rock. At the summit, you'll be rewarded with a 360-degree view of turquoise lakes, forested islands, and distant mountain ranges, a view that feels almost out of this world. But if you'd prefer to stay at the base, the vista from below is no less beautiful. We'll again have lunch at a local restaurant, enjoying the relaxed lakeside pace and fresh regional flavors. And then we'll take a gentle stroll along Guatape's Malecon, which is the boardwalk that edges the water. And then we'll have a little boat trip across the reservoir. As we glide through the calm waters, you'll hear the local tale of the Blue Dragon, a legend woven into the history of the lake and its mysterious islands. It's a fitting end to the day that feels straight out of a fairy tale. On this day of our journey, we're going to trade mountain breezes for a tropical sea air as we fly north to the Caribbean coast, and we'll arrive in one of Colombia's most captivating destinations, Cartagena de Indias. After our flight, we'll check into our hotel where we're going to spend the final 3 nights of our journey. Tucked inside the vibrant Getsemani neighborhood, the hotel is just a short stroll from the Cartagena's legendary walled old town and perfectly positioned for soaking in the magic of this coastal city. Cartagena is where history and heat collide in the most romantic of ways. Inside the centuries old stone walls, you'll find a world of cobble streets, grand colonial mansions, leafy plazas, and crumbling church towers. Just beyond, the city pulses with the rhythms of cumbia and salsa, bursts of color in every mural, and the scent of ocean breeze mixed with the street food sizzling on the corner. Getsemani was once a humble neighborhood of artisans and dock workers, and it's blossomed into Cartagena's creative soul. It's where artists, musicians, and storytellers come together, and where every alleyway is a canvas. You'll see murals that honor Afro Caribbean heritage and protest injustice, and others that simply celebrate life. Keep an eye out for the palanqueras, the Afro Colombian women dressed in bright traditional attire, balancing bowls of tropical fruit on their heads. These women are living symbols of cultural resilience, descended from the small town of San Basilio de Palenque, the first free African settlement in the Americas. After some time to settle in and refresh, we'll head out for a short orientation walk with our local guide to help you get your bearings in Getsemani. It's the kind of neighborhood that's best experienced on foot, where music spills from doorways and every street corner feels alive. Today, we journey through the heart and history of Cartagena, beginning with a guided walk through its most iconic treasure, the walled city. This part of Cartagena, the historic quarter, is a designated UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's like a living museum. Every stone street and colorful balcony has a story to tell. As we meander around the cobbled alleyways and sunlit plazas, we'll hear tales of Cartagena's dramatic past, of Spanish colonists and indigenous resistance, pirates lured by gold, and of Afro Caribbean communities who shaped the soul of the city. Cartagena's identity has been formed by a confluence of cultures from centuries, including African, indigenous, Spanish, and even Lebanese influences. You'll see those threads woven into everything from the architecture to the music and the flavor of its cuisine, as well as the rhythm of daily life. After the walking tour, we'll pause for lunch inside the walled city, dining among grand colonial facades and leafy courtyards. It's an ideal setting to reflect on the layers of history surrounding you. And that Caribbean breeze is never far away and adds its own laid back soundtrack to the day. But our exploration doesn't stop here. In the afternoon, we'll continue on to Cerro de la Popa, Cartagena's highest point, where a 17th century convent rests quietly above the city. From its peaceful gardens and whitewashed arches, we'll enjoy panoramic views of the harbor, the skyline, and the coastline, which offers a dramatic contrast between the colonial past and the modern city below. And then we'll head down to the mighty Castillo San Felipe de Barajas, one of the most impressive fortresses in all of Latin America. It was built back in the 1600s, and it's a massive stone stronghold that was Cartagena's last line of defense against pirate attacks and foreign invasions. As you wander around through the tunnels and ramparts, you'll gain a real sense of the city's strategic importance and the ingenuity that it took to defend it. We'll end our day at the San Pedro Claver Church, which was named for the Jesuit priest known as the Slave of the Slaves. The church and the attached convent tell the story of San Pedro Claver's compassionate mission during one of Cartagena's darkest chapters. His legacy was one of dignity, justice, and service, and it still resonates today. The space remains a moving place of reflection and reverence. We'll have an evening at leisure after a full day of discovery, and you might want to unwind with a quiet dinner in the neighborhood of Getsemani where we're staying. The music drifts down the street and murals glow under the lamplight. But you might also want to head back into the walled city for a romantic dinner beneath the colonial arches. However you spend the evening, Cartagena will keep revealing itself one story, one flavor, and one sunset at a time. This final full day in Colombia is yours to explore, unwind, or soak up the last rays of Caribbean sun. No matter whether you're drawn to history, beaches, or bold flavors, the city's got something magical awaiting around every corner. You might start off your day with a quiet stroll along Cartagena's old city walls, where early morning light casts golden hues over the sea and the colonial rooftops. Built to defend the city from pirates, these thick ramparts now offer some of the best views in town and the perfect place to pause and reflect. For those craving sand and sea, and you are on the Caribbean after all, this is the ideal day to escape out to the Rosario Islands or Playa Blanca, where turquoise waters and soft white sand promise total relaxation. Just a short boat ride away, both of these coastal gems feel a world apart, tropical, tranquil, and tailor made for a laid back beach day. But if history is calling, you might consider a visit to the Palace of the Inquisition, one of the city's most infamous colonial landmarks. Inside this elegant stone facade lies a chilling past. This was the seat of the Spanish Inquisition in Cartagena, and the museum offers a compelling and at times quite sobering look at the trials, punishments, and historical forces that shaped the colonial era. For something a little more offbeat, you could head over to Basurto Market, which is Cartagena's chaotic, colorful, and completely authentic food market. This is where the locals shop, eat, and swap stories. You'll find everything from exotic fruits to fresh seafood and street food stalls serving up deep fried delights, sizzling arepas, and icy limonada de coco. It's loud, it's lively, and it's unapologetically real. It's an unfiltered taste of Cartagena's soul. However, you spend your day, whether it's wandering around, sunbathing, or sipping something cold, this is the time to revisit what's moved you most and or maybe discover something completely new. And as the sun dips below and passes the horizon, we'll come together one last time for our farewell dinner at a delicious local restaurant. It's a chance to raise a glass, share some stories, and toast to those memories we've made: mountains, murals, markets, and moments of unexpected beauty. This is a fitting finale to a journey that's been as vibrant, layered, and unforgettable as the country of Colombia itself. And just like that, our journey comes to a close. And this morning, after one last breakfast underneath the Cartagena sun, we'll check out of our hotel and you'll be picked up and brought to the airport for your onward flight. With the Caribbean breezes still in the air and the echoes of music, laughter, and footsteps on cobblestones fresh in your mind, we say hasta pronto. See you soon. If what I've shared on this webinar about our trip to Colombia appeals to you, and if you're looking for more details, we've got plenty of that available. The best way to get it all is by visiting our website. You'll find the link below in the description, which is just under this video on YouTube, and that will take you directly to the webpage for the next upcoming trip. There you'll find a summary of all the trip, including prices, inclusions, and all those details you need to know. Inside there, you'll also find our detailed trip itinerary, which is linked to the webpage, and this has all of the details as terms and conditions and all of that stuff. We also have a trip-specific reference guide. This provides logistical details, answers to common questions about weather and climate, and do you need a visa to go to Colombia, as well as helpful packing suggestions. We aim to provide as much information as we can with just one click. Of course, if you still have questions or if you just want to know if this trip is right for you, we're more than happy to help. The best way is to drop an email to Paula or give us a call. She'll be more than delighted to assist with any questions and ensure that you have everything you need for your decision to join us on this amazing trip. Thanks for taking a few moments of your time to join me on this virtual journey through Colombia. I hope it's given you a bit of a glimpse of what you can expect. Our trips are designed to give you more than just a typical tour. They're about experiencing a destination as if you were a temporary local. With carefully selected excursions and plenty of free time, as I've just talked about, you'll have the chance to explore at your own pace while also discovering the culture, cuisine, and history of Colombia. If you enjoy following our webinars on new trips, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, and you can do that by clicking on the subscribe button just below this video. That way you'll be alerted and whenever we release a new webinar or trip. Otherwise, thanks again for taking the time to explore this part of the world with me. If you're not already on our newsletter list, I invite you to join our community. Perhaps we'll see you on one of our trips soon. We'd love to help you get started on this incredible adventure, and I hope to see you in Colombia.